Ladies and gentlemen, there is a sharp crisis in between the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. When you look at this NADCO report that came in, Uhuru Kenyatta had a crisis meeting, and in fact it was a night meeting in between these core principles in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, where Raila Odinga was present, Martha Karua was present, Akina Jeremiah Kioni was present, Maina Njenga was present, Eugene Wamalwa was not present but he traveled outside the country. Then we have people like Wajakoya, we have like Mwangi Wairia. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look at the NADCO report that came in, it seems like Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka's team came out endorsing that report. And immediately that report came in, Raila Odinga never came out giving his opinion towards that NADCO report. When you look at the report that came from Eugene Wamalwa, the report that came from Martha Wangari Karua, the report came from Caleb Hamisi, there was a kind of crisis in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition. There's something thin dividing these leaders, but at the same time, they are in Azimio. I want you to understand that. Because when you look at even them coming out to criticize the NADCO report, one thing that they're saying, they're still in Azimio. When you look at Eugene Wamalwa's reaction, he came out saying that he was not going to pen his sign on that report. But when Raila Odinga was giving his statement, when the journalist asked him, where is Eugene Wamalwa and where is Martha Karua? Raila Odinga said that they were together. Martha Karua was in Somalia. Eugene Wamalwa was not in the country the same. So that time, before the press, it was the minority leader, Opiyo Wandayi, Raila Odinga, and Kalonzo Musyoka. So these things went.
As we all recall, the talks were preceded by a stolen election, sweat, tears, police brutality and death, amid a steep rise in the cost of living, which has only got worse as the talks were being concluded. We want to thank all the people of Kenya, the media, fraternity, and other stakeholders for exercising great patience and restraint as the dialogue continued. I thank the members from both sides of the talks for their commitment and dedication to national duty. After the initial tension and mistrust, which was expected, the parties gelled and worked well together. Trust returned in their ranks, and they were then able to show a strong commitment to peace and reconciliation and the strengthening of institutions and governance process in Kenya. The document the team has come up with is ultimately imperfect and unfinished, but it is a good beginning. We have agreed to disagree on the most important matter to us. We made what we believed were reasonable proposals on how to address the rising cost of living. But the government side flatly refused, terming it their exclusive business and further arguing that they got the mandate of Kenyans to execute their Kenya Kwanza economic agenda. We will be engaging Kenyans further in the coming weeks as we must, because the pain of the cost of living is really unbearable. In the coming weeks, the majority of Kenyans will be carrying the burden of increased school fees besides the many crises in the education sector. Be that as it may, we have come this far because of a commitment to constructive engagement and positive energy and sacrifice for the sake of our beloved country, Kenya. Our team was able to get positive results on a number of the issues that we had set out in our demands. These include electoral justice, which encapsulates audit of the 2022 election process, restructuring and the constitution of the IEBC, increase of the timelines for the Supreme Court to hear and determine a presidential election petition from 14 to 21 days, and a commitment to the spirit of multi-party democracy. We were also able to agree on the transfer of all devolved functions and the requisite resources to the county governments, in addition to amending the constitution to provide for the equitable share of the county governments to not less than 20% of all revenue collected by the national government from the current 15%, and the establishment of the World Development Fund. We believe that these are significant reform mileages that, if implemented, can help strengthen our governance and electoral processes and safeguard the march of democracy in Kenya. Azimio, however, remains deeply disappointed that the committee was not able to agree on the one fundamental issue on which Kenyans are united across the political divide. The two teams were unable to agree on the need and the means to reduce the cost of living. This is why we have described the document the committee presented as imperfect and unfinished. It was not for lack of trying on our part that the committee was unable to agree on the issue of cost of living. Kenyans will recall that at the beginning of the talks, the Kenya Kwanza administration was adamant that cost of living would never be taken to the discussion table, let alone being discussed.
After the reaction of Raila Amolo Odinga, it seems that there are certain individuals, when look at Martha Karua and Jeremiah Kioni, they came out also giving their own statement. As Uhuru Kenyatta, we are being told that he tried even to scatter these NADCO meetings. How did he come out trying to do so? He tried to at least, what we were told was that Uhuru Kenyatta wanted that this team from Azimio to exit that dialogue. And by exiting that dialogue, they wanted Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua to lead Kenyans on the street. Because the issue of high cost of living was not being addressed. In other words, immediately, Raila Odinga came out reacting on that. Martha Karua said, there's an announcement they are preparing. And that is why today, Martha Wangari Karua met Eugene Wamalwa. Yesterday, she met Jeremiah Kioni, Peter Munya, and two others. And the mission of these meetings, Kenyans are asking, what is going on here? But in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to have deep clarification here about whatever is happening in Azimio, as they are having plan. And the major plan here is about referendum. But before we talk about the referendum that these people are coming up with, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to watch whatever Jeremiah Kioni said.
Jambo la kwanza ni kwamba tumekubaliana ya kwamba tutakuwa na candidates, and we are starting to identify candidates for 2027 now. So if you are out there and you want to run towards that quickly. Ya pili, ni kwamba mara moja tutaenda to our counties to ensure that those officials who left, tumeachana na wao. We are going to fill in those vacant positions and also ensure that we do member recruitment drive kwa haraka. Ya tatu ni kwamba kama vile chairman amesema, wale ambao wako bugeni na wako na haja ya chama wako karibu. Lakini wajue ya kwamba ni vizuri sisi ambao tunachaguliwa tujue ya kwamba tukichaguliwa we never become officials of the party. We remain subjects of the party. Lingine ni mambo ya haya mambo tunasema, wacha niongeze moja before I talk about the NADCO. Niliona wabunge wengine na wengine ni wao ambao wako ndani ya Jubilee kuita vijana wetu mogeki. It is something that we do not know how to condemn, but it is the worst thing that you can do when you have a regime like the one we have at Ruto. Kwa sababu kuita vijana wetu mogeki ni kusema waanze kupigwa risasi. Our boys are not mogeki. Wakati tunatafuta kura tunawaita jeshi, lakini tukifika bunge wanaitwa mogeki. We want them enabled to carry out businesses so that they can be able to take care of their livelihoods. Hatutaki majina ambayo haina maana. Mogeki na walevi, hiyo ndio majina ambayo tumepatiwa hivi karibuni. Lagu la mwisho ni mambo hii ya NADCO ambayo tumekuwa kule, tumekaa kwa miezi mitatu pamoja. Na tulisema juzi, nataka kurudia hapa. It is very, very immoral of us to think that we can start creating offices for people while people died when they were demonstrating in the streets. Watu hawakwenda milolongo ama demonstration, maandamano kwa sababu ya ofisi fulani. Watu walienda kule kwa sababu ya gharama ya maisha. This document falls short of that issue. Ilikuwa gumu sana kuongea na watu wa KK. Hawakutaka hayo mambo yasungumzwe. Hata mkubwa yao William mwenyewe alisema ya kwamba mambo ya cost of living ni yake aachiwe. Na tunasema ya kwamba wameshindwa na hayo mambo kwa sababu hawakukubali tuyasungumzie kule. Na la pili ni kwamba sisi wa Kenya sasa tuanze kufikiria vile tutatoa hawa watu, kwa sababu wakiendelea kukaa pale maisha yetu inaendelea kuwa magumu. That is very important for us. And there is nothing else we are focusing on. I know kuna watu ambao wanasema mambo ya referendum na wanataka kuleta mageuzi ya katiba kupitia bunge, wakose kwenda kuuliza wa Kenya. Tunasema hivi, wakati ambao unafaa yale mageuzi yote ambao tungetaka yafanywe kwa katiba lazima yapelekwe kwa Kenya. Lakini mtu asijaribu kupitia njia ya mlango wa nyuma ama kuleta mabadiliko kwa katiba yetu kupitia kwa dirisha. La mwisho,
after Jeremiah Kioni's reaction, ladies and gentlemen, you can understand that these people are having a plan. And the plan is to ensure that William Ruto is not going to be the president of the Republic of Kenya 2027. And how are they going to start? Starting to compress or to squeeze William Ruto into a tight corner. Number one, by starting to consult Kenyans, having rallies across the Republic of Kenya. And that rally's mission, number two, is to have a referendum. Number one is to consult Kenyans first. Number two, they have a referendum. The referendum now is going to develop a kind of momentum that is going to ensure that these individuals are going to be kicked out of the office come 2027. And it might be easier to remove William Ruto from the office, and it might be a kind of history that is going to be written by Kenyans, ensuring that William Ruto is going to be a first-term president. Or rather one-term, not first-term, one-term president. And this one-term president, that is what William Ruto is terrified of. So Martha Wangari Karua, together with so-called Kamwene, they are consulting, and we are waiting their announcement that is going to come. I don't know it is tomorrow or which day. Then Raila Amolo Odinga, together with Kalonzo Musyoka and other individuals, of course, they're having their also team. Those who came out endorsing that report, they're going to have also the announcement. Then this is going to bring them on board. Are they endorsing referendum or not? So the exit here is specifically of this NADCO report. All the Azimio team, they're going to exit. So mega exit here is that we must come out, and at least even if we are going to discuss about the positions of these leaders, we must also speak about the high cost of living. So the reality here is Martha Wangari Karua is ensuring that at least even if they're going to discuss about the positions, they must also talk about some issues affecting Kenyans. I want you to understand that. So that if they're coming on board with their issue, at least Kenyans are going to understand them. But it will be so difficult for them to come out rushing over the positions that the NADCO team came out proposing about the office of the opposition and the prime cabinet minister. So it is so identical and it is visible that, ladies and gentlemen, the team that is going to come out from Azimio is a team that is going to ensure that William Ruto is going not to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. So Martha Wangari Karua's ultimatum is that, first, is telling Raila Odinga, we are not going to talk about these positions first. Can we squeeze this man to a tight corner so that he can understand that high cost of living and some issues must be resolved before we go to referendum? Which for me, is there a possibility of that? Because William Ruto is arguing that this issue of high cost of living is his mandate and is in the his manifesto, Kenya Kwanza. So let these individuals leave him to articulate such issue of high cost of living. But again, at the same time, that ultimatum of Martha Wangari Karua, when it comes to the report that Raila Odinga came out saying, do you think that Martha Karua is exiting? Because just the other time, there was a news report that Martha Wangari Karua was moving out of Azimio. But Martha Karua came out responding that she is not moving outside of Azimio. At the same time, these people are confirming that they are in Azimio. They are not moving anywhere. So the reality is that these people are having a mega exit from the NADCO report. Now they are venturing into new prospects and trajectory that is going to propel them to ensure that William Ruto is going to be the one-term president of the Republic of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, I want to appreciate you so much because of your support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video.